Good morning, children. Welcome back to my English class. Hope you all are keeping safe and well. This is Mrs. Nahid Anjum Khan, and today we will know about the second part of the play, The Comedy of Errors by William Shakespeare. Let us recap part 1, children. What happens in the part 1? We have already learnt. The passage is an adaptation of Shakespeare's original comedy of the same name. It is a story about two sets of identical brothers, Antipholus of Syracuse, AS, and Antipholus of Ephesus, AE, and their respective attendants, Dromio of Syracuse, DS, and Dromio of Ephesus, DE. The brothers are separated in an accident at sea. Years later, AS and DS, that is Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse, travel to Ephesus in search of their brothers. AS, that is Antipholus of Syracuse, asks DS, that is Dromio of Syracuse, to take his money and keep it safe at the inn at which they are staying. As DS leaves, AS thinks about what a loyal and trustworthy attendant Dromio is. He also worries about the task of finding his lost brother. At this point, DE enters and mistakes AS to be his master. DE is Dromio of Antipholus. Okay. And what happens here? See, he asks AE to come back home as it is lunchtime and AE's wife is waiting impatiently. Actually, Antipholus of Ephesus got married and he was having wife, and that's why she has sent DE is Dromio of Ephesus to go and fetch the master for lunch. AS does not understand him and asks him repeatedly where the money he gave him was. Now Dromio of Ephesus is confused as he received no money. When DE is unable to explain and insists on taking AS, that is Antipholus of Syracuse, home for lunch, AS gets furious and slaps Dromio of Ephesus for betraying his trust. DE goes running and AS heads to the inn to check on his money. As what happens over here, see, AS, that is Antipholus of Syracuse, meets Dromio of Syracuse at the inn and scolds him for playing a strange prank on him. Actually, Dromio of Syracuse was there only in the inn waiting for his master, that is Antipholus of Syracuse only. Now what happens, children? Let's have a recap of the next scene. DE, that is Dromio of Ephesus, meets Adriana, wife of Antipholus of Ephesus. Antipholus of Ephesus is married already. Yes, Adriana his wife. So their attendant, Dromio of Ephesus, goes to her, and Luciana, sister of Adriana, is also there and tells them that AE is upset. Actually, he mistakes over here, and his mistake is that AE is there and he thinks that who is there? Actually, AE is not there. AS is there and he mistakes him as his own master. That is why in scene 2, both the sisters go in search of Antipholus of Ephesus and meets instead of him, whom they meet, Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse at the inn. Come on, children. Now the real confusion begins over here in the second part of the story, The Comedy of Errors, Part 2. Yes. Now the text over here on page number 11, children. Antipholus of Syracuse finds his gold safe at the inn. He also meets Dromio of Syracuse and scolds him for having played a strange prank on him. Dromio is confused because he does not understand what Antipholus means. He was at the inn all along waiting for his master. In the meanwhile, Dromio of Ephesus goes back home and tells Adriana, wife of Antipholus of Ephesus, what happened. Adriana is very upset and, along with Luciana, her sister, goes in search of her husband. But she runs into Antipholus of Syracuse instead. At the inn, scene 2. Enter Antipholus and Dromio of Syracuse, Adriana and Luciana. Antipholus of Syracuse. Dromio, who are these two women that are waving at us? Adriana. Yes, yes, Antipholus, look confused and frown. I suppose I am neither Adriana nor your wife? There was a time when no words sounded sweet to your ears unless I spoke them. You liked looking at nothing unless I showed it to you. You liked touching nothing unless I had touched it. And you would eat no food unless I prepared and served it. Why have you become such a stranger? Don't tear yourself away from me. Be faithful to me and come back. Now, children, what happens is actually in the strange and beautiful city of Ephesus, Antipholus of Syracuse and Antipholus of AE both are there together actually, but there is no entry of Antipholus of Ephesus, and so only Antipholus of Syracuse is there at the inn with Antipholus of Syracuse is there with Dromio of Ephesus. Means AS is mistaken again and he thinks that it is Dromio, his own attendant. So he slaps him over there. So Dromio of Ephesus runs away from there and straightforward he goes to where? He goes to his own mistress, that is Adriana, and he tells all the story that see how is Antipholus doing, he is beating me. Actually, it was not Antipholus of Ephesus, it was Antipholus of Syracuse. And after getting nice beating, Dromio of Ephesus runs away from there. And then at the inn, who is there? See, at the inn is Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse, and he is so upset and laughing and yelling and shouting, why Antipholus is behaving like this? He is asking me about the prank and all. I have not played any prank on him because he is my true master. Now what happens, children, is suddenly in the inn, who appears over there? The two ladies, and they are waving. They are waving at Antipholus of Syracuse and and Dromio of Syracuse. Okay, actually Adriana and Luciana are thinking that these two men are their own, means they are Antipholus of Ephesus and Dromio of Ephesus. Again they are mistaken over here, and see, both the ladies are very angry. Actually Adriana is too angry and she is frowning over there. She is telling to her husband that she is his wife. Okay, now again back to the text, children. Antipholus of Syracuse, are you talking to me? I have been in Ephesus just these last 2 hours. Your town is as unknown to me as you are. I'm trying hard, but I can't understand a word you say. Luciana, shame on you, brother-in-law. Why are you treating my sister like this? She sent Dromio to bring you home for lunch. Antipholus of Syracuse, Dromio? Now, Dromio of Syracuse. Me! Adriana. Yes, you. You told me that he had beaten you and that he told you that his house wasn't his and that I wasn't his wife. Antipholus of Syracuse. You talk to this woman? What kind of conspiracy have you hatched between you? Dromio of Syracuse. Sir, I have never ever seen this woman before in my life. Now, children, actually, what happens is Adriana straightforward goes to Antipholus. Now, this Antipholus is whom? He is not Antipholus of Ephesus, he is Antipholus of Syracuse. So, Adriana, thinking that he is her husband, and so she goes straight forward to him and tells all the promises and all the things they have planned for the future and all the things what he has confessed in front of her. Yes, he used to say that I will not eat any food if you have not prepared it. I will not touch the things which you have not touched it, and all sort of things. Okay, so all the love, care, and all the things what the Antipholus of Ephesus has said to Adriana, she is telling to whom? Yes, to Antipholus of Syracuse, actually. But Antipholus of Syracuse is so confused. He says, oh my God, what this lady is telling? Yes, Adriana even calls Dromio also. Yes, Dromio, listen, you told me, no, that this is Antipholus, and he is saying that he is not recognizing you, okay, nor me, nor the home, nor the lunch, nothing. So Romeo says, me. When did I tell all these things to you? Actually, that was Dromio of Ephesus, not Dromio of Syracuse. And see over here how weird he is looking at Adriana. This is actually Dromio of Syracuse. Both of them are master and attendant. And Luciana, seeing all these things, says, why you are behaving like this, brother-in-law, with my sister? She's so worried about you. She's waiting for you for lunch. And she has sent Dromio to fetch you. Now, which Dromio? Actually, they have sent Dromio of Ephesus. And here, they both are from Syracuse. Who from Syracuse? Both means Antipholus and Dromio of Syracuse. Now, children, the story here revolves around Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse. There is no entry of Antipholus of Ephesus, or rather Dromio of Ephesus further. Okay, come back to the text, children. Dromio of Syracuse. Sir, I've never seen this woman before in my life. Antipholus of Syracuse. Liar! You told me those very things back there in the square. Dromio of Syracuse. I have never spoken with this lady in my life. Antipholus of Syracuse. Then how does she calls us by our names? Is it magic? Adriana. How horrible that you are pretending with your servant to mock me? Come, let me take your arm and use your strength to take you away from all that distracts you. Antipholus of Syracuse. She is talking to me. She is talking about me. What? Did I marry her in a dream? Or am I asleep now and imagining all this? Until I know more, I had better humor her. Luciana. Dromio, go tell the servants to prepare the lunch. Yes, children. Now see what happens actually is. Antipholus of Syracuse also tells Dromio, his own attendant, that you are hatching some conspiracy. You are playing a prank again on me with this lady. Okay, so you both have decided and you are doing something wrong with me. But actually, Adriana is saying to whom? Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse, that you both are getting together and you are teasing me. Mock is teasing me, mocking me. And so you both are master and servant are mocking at me and you are playing a prank on me. And see what happens. Antipholus of Syracuse says to Dromio, he's blaming Dromio, that you are a liar and you are getting along with this lady, unknown lady, and just trying to play a prank again on me. But Romeo says, Ari, I've not met this lady before. Never ever. And I've never spoken with this lady in my life. But actually, with whom Adriana and Luciana has spoken, they have spoken to Dromio of Ephesus, their own servant. Fine. Now see, children, in the text. You can see in the scene also that Adriana is just pulling away Antipholus of Syracuse to come along. She is actually mistaken over here. No? She thinks that this is her husband and that's why she's pulling him. Come on. She's just pulling his arm and telling him, come on, come for lunch, come home and all these things. Okay. And he's saying, come on, I'll take you home. Something is distracting you over here. This place is not good for you. Come on, we'll go home. Okay. And see what happens over here. He says, you are pretending. Means you are just telling all the wrong things to me. You are actually my husband and behaving like this. Dromio of Syracuse. Oh, let me cross myself. There's surely witchcraft here. This is a fairyland. We talk with goblins, owls, and sprites. If we don't listen to them, they will surely suck the life out of us, pinch as black and blue. So here what happens actually is Adriana is pulling whom to Antipholus of Syracuse, mistakenly taking him as her husband, and both of them, Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse, are afraid. Afraid of whom? Of these two ladies. Okay, who? Adriana and Luciana, both the sisters. And they both think, who? Antipholus and Syracuse and Romeo of Syracuse, that they are under some magic spell. These two women are also playing some witchcrafts, means some magic. Surely they both are in a fairyland and are talking to goblins, owls, and sprites. Okay, they both think, Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse, they both think that they are under the spell of this magic only, and if they'll not listen to both of these women, they will just take them and suck their suck their blood, suck their soul out of their body. And then they even think of their life being sucked by these creatures or be pinched blue and black. They will pinch them if they'll not listen to these two ladies. So that's the end over here, children. If you want to know the exact end of the story, whether both of the brothers, the twin brothers, have met each other in future or not, you'll have to read the complete story of whom? Antipholus of Syracuse, Antipholus of Ephesus, Dromio of Syracuse, Dromio of Ephesus, and yes, the twin brothers story with the same name, The Comedy of Errors by William Shakespeare. That's all for today, children. Come on, come to the meanings of the chapter. First is haste, speed of urgency. Rascal, mischievous person. Wicked is evil, waving or greeting signal. Hatched, come up or out with a plan. Pretending, acting that is not true to show something else what they exactly are not. Mock is to tease. Pinch, taking flesh between the fingers and thumb. Goblin, ugly elf, short height with pointed ears. And the 10th one is witchcraft, that is practice of magic. Now children, here comes the homework for you. Write 3-4 lines on each character discussed in the play with the help of the character trait chart shown in part 1. Children, you have not to write anything about Antipholus of Ephesus because there is no entry of him in this complete play. Okay? Now, that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day, children.